some devastating news for PS4 niggas. Not only can you not afford a PS5 6 years into the lifespan of the PS5 as we inch towards the PS6, but it looks like you'll never, and I mean never, be able to afford a PS5 car. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Sony is canceling their PlayStation car. The collaboration with Honda that they've been showing off for the past 2 years and hyping up. Afeela was revealed in 2023 as a joint venture between Sony and Honda that, simply put, mashes up EV with all sorts of dubious media features. Mobility as creative entertainment space is how the Afeela website describes it, promising an emotional experience that's like being in a private theater immersed in sounds and visuals, because that's why we buy cars, ladies and gentlemen, for an immersive movie experience. Frankly, I think that's about the last thing any sane person would want when they're hustling 2,000 kilograms of steel and electricity down a busy highway, but it doesn't matter now because the whole thing has been scrapped. The cancellation of the Afeela project wasn't due to any specific issues with the car itself, but was rather a result of Honda's reassessment of its automobile electrification strategy announced on March 12, 2026. Sony and Honda said in a joint statement that March 12th's announcement saw the cancellation of 3 Honda EV models that have been planned for production in North America, driven by a combination of US tariff policies and easing of fossil fuel regulations and shifts in the Asian market, including increased competitiveness from Chinese manufacturers. Continuing to sell this product is no longer sustainable. Anyeo has suspended pre-orders of its uber powerful Next 2 gaming handheld as well. Yeah, no 2K in the whip. For those who don't understand, this was supposed to be a high-end EV car that allowed you to play your PS5 inside of it. And that's why I said this is a big deal, because you would have had 2 different chances to get a PS5, and now there's even less chances now for you PS4 niggas, man. I never liked the name of the car, but the car looked okay. The real PlayStation Portable, sort of. Bloomberg claims rampant AI demand for memory is forcing Sony to consider pushing back the launch for its next-gen PlayStation as far. Oh, these are other articles. I'm bugging. The fact that Afeela was quite expensive was also no doubt a stumbling block. The base model of Afeela 1, the first production model, came in at $90,000, while the Afeela 1 Signature clocked in at $103,000, which is crazy expensive for a Honda car. The Hyundai Ioniq 5, by way of comparison, is $37,000. So that really sucks. Not that I care much about the Afeela specifically. I think it's ugly and dangerous. Seriously, an overloaded media environment, including external displays to distract other drivers and completely. Jokes aside, it's really not a distraction, because you most likely would have not been able to play the PlayStation inside of the car unless you were parked. At least that's how it works in Tesla. You can't play on the games unless you're parked. And in the movie stuff, I'm pretty sure maybe the back seats, like the headrest, the kids could watch movies and shit, but the person driving wouldn't be able to. Anyway, the end of the Afeela doesn't necessarily signal a split between Sony and Honda. The two companies will continue to discuss and evaluate the future of Sony Honda mobility, taking into account the initial purchase of the JV establishment as well as the latest EV market environment, and intend to jointly announce the SMH's future direction, mid to long-term positioning, as well as contributions to the future of mobility at the earliest possible opportunity. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring back NSX and pretend to drive it with a DualSense controller. Yeah, whatever. They're gonna jailbreak the car. Nah. I think this has to do with the Ramageddon. PC parts are so expensive. And as these cars become more technologically advanced, they're not just about driving. You're talking about putting a whole home theater inside of the vehicle as well as a PlayStation. That stuff was going to get expensive. And they were probably looking at it and thinking it's not worth it. Like, how many cars could we realistically move off the lot? Probably not a lot right now, especially because also this would have been an import because it's a Honda and a Sony. Matter of fact, it might have been double the tariff because it's a Sony Honda collaboration. So you import it, it's going to get taxed. It's going to be expensive all rip. They were talking about 100,000. With tariffs, you're probably looking at the starting price like 125,000 for this shit, bro. So I just wanted to show off another thing that PS4 niggas would have never been able to afford. If you didn't get a chance to look at the car, this is it right here. But. I didn't like the name either. I wonder if there will be a working model that like the Sony CEO gets to drive or something. That's like his own little custom car.
Through creative entertainment space.
At Qualcomm, our collaboration with Sony Honda Mobility. Thank you, Kamishi.
Yeah, nobody's buying new cars right now.
I'm here with my colleagues from Sony Honda Mobility.
Instead of imitating engine sound.
It's a deliberate driving experience
never coming.
beyond imagination.
We are also excited to shape a future that lies beyond that experience.
The Afila.
Bringing
What a
the
great barrier.
experience to even more customers across the U.S.
Now it's coming to nobody.
Like it stands out on the road, so
It's kind of sexy, I think, for a car.
I can't wait to go buy it.
Pretty darn sweet.
Wait till she finds out you can't.
I love that taste.
That nigga taste the car? What? Did they run out of people to interview during CES? What are you talking about, bro? That nigga hopped in the show version of the car and licked the steering wheel. He said, "I love the taste of this PlayStation car, dude." Oh my god, I mean, tongue down the seats and shit. Get your freaky ass on. Like, yeah, you guys say pause after that shit. The starting package for the car was gonna be 90,000. So pretty much it starts at 100,000. But I mean, it's not coming out. If you're just coming in the chat, they canceled it. They didn't give a specific reason, but if I had to take an educated guess, it's because of the Ramageddon. It's just hard to make a super technologically advanced car when all the PC parts are too goddamn expensive right now. So yeah. If you had any hope of buying that, it ain't coming. Sorry. Other news, more positive news. If you're fans of matter of fact, Crimson Desert Defense Force, come to the front. Let's talk about your flawless video game that has no problems, even though it had 1,000 different patches in the last fucking week. Let's talk about that perfect video game. More good news for you guys. CEO of Pearl Abyss said that they plan to add DLC or even multiplayer content to Crimson Desert depending on the market demand. And they say, what are your thoughts? Which is fucking interesting because apparently originally this game was an MMO and then they changed it to a single player game. But there's potential that it could turn back to an MMO. It could turn into Black Desert Online too. So my question is, for fans of Crimson Desert, would you want to see multiplayer inside of the game? Let me know. Needs a co-op. I think co-op would be cool, but like a full-blown MMO, I don't know, man. I don't know. Release the VOD? I don't know what VOD you talking about, bro. Nah, they can keep it. Hey, it's in consideration, so don't be surprised if years down the road they announce multiplayers coming to it, or like a year down the road. We know at bare minimum they are in the studio slaving away, dropping patch after patch after patch every night. Even though the fan base says there's nothing wrong with the game, for some reason they keep patching it. I don't know. Interesting. What else we got? Oh, in dumbass news, let's talk about Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games. For those who haven't been following, yesterday it was announced that Epic Games laid off 1,000 different employees, which sparked a bunch of different conversations, such as if Fortnite can't survive, because the player count's down. If Fortnite can't survive financially, what live service game can? And in my head, I'm thinking, good. Live service games are the devil. It's time to move on from this fucking trend. But we have an update on that. That's beside the point. The CEO of Epic said something crazy. He took to Twitter and then with this announcement and said, in the coming days, employers will see a stream of resumes of once in a lifetime quality folks. An important thing to understand is that Epic never lowered our hiring standards as we grew, and the layoff wasn't a performance-based resizing as companies call it nowadays. It's a sound bet that anyone with Epic Games on their resume is in the top few percent of their discipline. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine your boss laid you off and then took to Twitter and said, them niggas would be all right. They used to work for me. Could somebody tell this guy that's not how the job market works? If you're inside of an industry and a bunch of people are constantly getting laid off and there's only a small number of jobs, it doesn't matter how good your resume is. Only a certain number of people can get those jobs because that's what's available. This shit is so fucking insensitive, and this is why people hate these billionaire CEOs. You could have just said nothing, dickhead. Sweeney gotta read the room, bruh. They said, my man said, we fired all these people and it had nothing to do with their lack of talent. We got some of the most talented people, so y'all can have them. Motherfuckers trying to make it sound like he donated to charity. Yeah, like this is not what you think it's doing, bruh. Capitalism is gonna kill us all, man. Corporate greed. You know, the crazy part is, I believe the reports when they say that the player count is down for Fortnite. But my thing is, like, since what? When did Fortnite BR come out? Like 2018, 2019? Since 2018, Fortnite has been at the top of the mountain, printing billions upon billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. And they have one bad year. They have one down year, and just a bunch of people get laid off. That's actually kind of crazy to me. You guys don't have the money to subsidize. Why not call a team meeting and being like, hey, look, our numbers are down, so for the next year, I need us to figure it out, or we might have to consider laying people off. This is nothing but corporate greed. They've made so much fucking money. They don't have to lay people off right away. This isn't like some random ass indie studio. So friendly reminder, before you become super loyal to that company that you work for, remember, they're not loyal to you. Get your check and go about your day, bruh. Yeah, greed to the max. Everyone's a fucking number, and I think that's the most depressing part, bruh. And then your boss is on social media and just saying stupid shit, bruh, kicking you while you're down, basically. They paid so much money out to the island creators. Fuck the suits, bruh. Off topic, but you're gonna check out Screamer tomorrow. I don't even know what Screamer is. What is that? Speaking of fuck the suits, FIFA, it's back. FIFA returns with a free-to-play arcade-style football game and an utterly bizarre roster. It's called FIFA Heroes. Things have been quiet. Let's just play the trailer. I'm not gonna read this shit. Fuck it. Let's just see what it is. 1 minute trailer. I already don't like the art style. It looks like bootleg Xbox 360 avatars. Can someone explain to me what Thor has to do with football? Master epic skills. Oh, it's a mobile game. Hey, chat.
Man, I'm gonna play this off stream, man. We're gonna finish this mission up off stream.
You know what's funny about FIFA 2? I remember when EA decided not to re-up on the FIFA license, and they said they're just gonna keep making soccer games and call it something else. Now it's called FC Soccer or some shit like that. And FIFA was like, in retaliation, FIFA came out like a couple days later and released a statement. And they said something along the lines of, we don't give a fuck. We don't need EA anyway. As much as it pains me to say, I think you niggas need EA. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that game is looking very. And we gonna play this one off stream, man. I don't know about this FIFA committee, because for those who don't know, like FIFA's just a committee for soccer, like global soccer, bro. They give it like the soccer UN. I think you guys need a proper dev team, because I promise you, mobile games are not gonna work. Perhaps not in the format we quite expected or wanted, but this is what we're getting in development in the hands of VR Studio. It's a VR studio developing this game. And the game's coming to Switch sometime later this year. Okay, so it is coming to Switch 1 or 2, following a mobile release on April 28th, so next month, 2026. Interesting. You'll have powers from like Thor and Sun Wukong. Skip. Oh, here we go. Here's a brief rundown of the gameplay itself. FIFA Heroes is designed as an arcade-first football experience. Matches are 2 minutes in length, built for quick sessions while retaining competitive depth. 2-minute experiences for mobile gives you more time to spend just as much time in the store buying microtransactions, guys. Core gameplay features include 5v5 competitive matches, online head-to-head, limited time events, seasonal progression systems, special abilities that alter match dynamics. Players can activate game-changing powers, including teleporting dribbles. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to play any sports game with teleporting. It could be football, the other football, American football, basketball. Like, I'm good off that. Flaming power shots and magnetic tackles. The game is intentionally stylized and fast-paced, prioritizing responsiveness and spectacle over simulation. Season passes, rotating challenges, and live events support long-term engagement. Translation: microtransactions, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so it's coming out next month. Honestly, who greenlights this stuff? The suits. I guarantee you the FIFA board is probably looking at it like, oh, we're FIFA, everybody loves us and knows us. They'll buy anything with our name on it. And they're failing to realize, as much as it pains me to say this, the reason people are buying EA football games is because EA was making decent football games at one time. It wasn't because of the FIFA brand. The FIFA brand added to it. It added a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? Authority. But the gameplay ultimately is the most important thing. And it shows you how out of touch they are because they felt like they could go without EA. And honestly, they could have. They could have if they had a good head on their shoulders. See, like, my thing is, like, if I was FIFA, I would have went to like 2K or like another company and said, hey, we need to make a football game that can compete with EA. But to me, this shows arrogance. This says to me that they think, oh, we're FIFA. We're just going to put out a mobile game full of microtransactions and do whatever the fuck we want. And I'm here to let you know, you're going to fail. This game's DOA. Anyways, who's a fan of Smash Bros? FIFA's supposed to be a non-profit organization. It's supposed to be. Apparently there's a new game called Combo Devils, and the people at IGN are loving it. I'm gonna go to YouTube and see if I can find the YouTube version. Check out their preview video. Here we go. Combo Devils preview. We're gonna put it on 1.2, 1.5, something like that. Let's see what's different about this one. Is this the Smash Bros. Killer?
Combo Devils, a recently kickstarted platform fighter from developer Punkzilla, has one of the best elevator pitches of any fighting game I've played in a hot minute. What if you took the core of Smash Brothers, fused it with the mechanics and sensibilities of a traditional modern 2D fighter, and then topped it all off with a roguelite single-player mode? As someone who grew up dumping hundreds of hours into the various iterations of Smash Brothers all throughout middle school, high school, and college, spends most of his nights grinding ranked in a variety of 2D fighting games, and ranked several roguelikes among his favorite games of all time, Combo Devils seems like a game laser-targeted specifically for my tastes. And sure enough, after spending some time learning in the lab, messing around with the single player...
You know the crazy part about, like, platform brawlers, like, you know, companies that make, like, knockoffs of Smash Bros? A lot of them low-key be good. The issue is they have a hard time attracting a strong core audience. I think the only one that has is probably Brawlhalla over the years. And even still, that's really minuscule in comparison to Smash Bros. I thought it was going to be multiverses because they had the star power, but they dropped the ball on the gameplay. But, like, I feel like this genre is a very unique one. And it almost feels like it's not even worth trying to develop competition for it because it's such a hard market to penetrate into.
And battling it out online, Combo Devils has grabbed me in a way that no other platform fighter since Smash Brothers has been able to do.
He said this is the first one he's liked since Smash Brothers.
Right out of the gate, let me preface this all by saying that while the core gameplay of Combo Devils feels great, this is still a game that feels early in development. There are currently only 4 playable characters on Plan 9, if the grayed out character slots in the character select screen are anything to go off of. There's a big caution work in progress warning next to the roguelite mode in the main menu, and the training mode is missing a lot of basic functionality that you would expect the training mode to have. So while the game clearly needs more time to cook, what's here shows a ton of promise. The core of the fighting system is very Smash Bros.-esque. Each character has light attacks, strong attacks, and special moves of the up, down, forward,
Smash Flash is the GOAT,
and neutral variety.
Game.
The first interesting twist on the formula is that your shield is directional and must be pointed in the direction of the enemy's attack. So,
interesting.
You need to tilt your shield upwards. If they move behind you,
okay, that little tweak that does add a level of depth. You had to be paying attention.
You must move your shield to block your backside. So you can do cool things like jumping in on an opponent that you're expecting is going to block their front, air dash through, and surprise them with cross-up on their backside. Another traditional fighting game staple that has been infused to mesh with a platform fighter mold includes a Gatling style of combo logic. So if you're just picking up a character and you don't know what the unique aspects of their kit are, you can generally rely on neutral lights comboing into directional lights, which can then combo into heavy attacks or special moves as a kind of universal bread and butter combo for every character. What's even more cool is that once you get your foe in the air, you also get one free air dash cancel, which lets you cancel the recovery of an aerial move and dash in a direction to continue the combo and potentially tag on just a bit more damage to try and secure a kill.
That was nasty.
It's a fighting system that feels very well thought out and leads to some really flashy and fun to execute combos. On top of that, there's also a super mirror to manage. Just like
I feel like aesthetically this game looks nice.
You can spend one bar on EX special moves, which enhance your specials in a variety of ways, whether that's by simply increasing their knockback and damage, making them faster, or adding new properties to them altogether. If you manage to build up 3 bars, you can execute super moves with traditional fighting game motion inputs to cap off your combos with some extra flair and KO power.
Okay, so you get extra power for doing the
As far as the characters
inputs.
go, there's a great variety of playstyles in the 4 available characters, and perhaps best of all, none of them really feel derivative of any existing fighter in the platform fighter space. My personal favorite is Shy. He's a gamer delivery boy who fights with a skateboard, power glove, and Beyblade top. He can even do a Gears of War style active reload for his neutral special to load it faster. Another standout is Jingo, a ninja dog with blistering fast speed, excellent projectiles, and a super cool special move that allows him to plant a butterfly on his opponents, which he can then teleport to immediately to continue or even start a combo. As for the roguelite mode, while I can appreciate Punkzilla taking a swing at a non-conventional single-player mode, this felt like a miss, at least at this stage of its development. Roguelites are fun because every run feels distinct, forcing you to adapt to whatever the game throws at you, oftentimes forcing you to make the best out of a bad situation, or not squander a good run when luck is in your favor. But here, every run feels exactly the same. You choose a character and fight through several rooms of generic enemies that just kind of wander around, flash white, and then do some sort of attack that you must either block or just get out of the way of. Over the course of the mode, you'll gain power-ups, increase your stats, and fight bosses, but nothing ever happened that really changed up my approach to each room or made it more fun to play. There's obviously that aforementioned work-in-progress warning for the roguelike piece of this, so it's certainly possible for Punkzilla to turn it around.
Yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to play some Hades or some Slay the Spire 2, which we'll be playing later. Get some inspiration to clean this part up.
Nevertheless, it's not the selling point of Combo Devils. That would be the online play, and fortunately, the online experience thus far has been excellent. Its rollback netcode has held up extremely well throughout my playtime, even making things like Shy's active reload, which demands pinpoint precision timing, virtually identical to the experience of playing offline. All in all, Combo Devils is shaping up to be an excellent fusion of platform and 2D fighting, with a smart melding of mechanics, fun characters, great online play, flashy and satisfying combos, and an aesthetically pleasing art style. There's clearly a lot of work to be done, but if Punkzilla can polish up what's here and fill out the rest of the game with the same level of quality as what's in this demo, then Combo Devils could very well be a major player in the platform fighting genre. And just to close out this preview, here's a full match of Jingo versus Shy.
We're doing more like Smash Run from the 3DS Smash. I don't remember that shit.
This lesson's on the house.
What are you from? Some sort of karate movie?
I gotta clean up that voice acting a little bit too. Looks good though. I like it. I'll keep an eye on this game. Combo Devils. I like it. Shout out to Homeless with the raid. Appreciate it. Have you seen the ticket prices for the World Cup? Nah, because I'm not going. Y'all going to the World Cup? I do not care who wins that shit unless America wins. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even care if America wins. It's really just to piss off the world. Although we're doing that already, unfortunately. It has nothing to do with me. It's your president.